talk about the option of using an aerial photo to build your base map. In the last video, I showed you how to build a hand-drawn base map from a real property report or a survey, but you can also get measurements from an aerial photo. Ideally, your photograph is at one of the common paired scales. And remember, on your architect scale ruler is one way to remind yourselves what some of those scaled pairs are. For metric, 1 to 200, 1 to 250, over here, 1 to 300, 1 to 500 are some of the most common pairings. Now, if you don't know what the scale of your photograph is, you can find out by taking measurements between 2 points on the photograph and dividing that distance by the actual measurement of the ground distance between those same 2 points. So for instance, right here, this roof line, I know between this point and this point is 13 meters because I've been out and I've measured it. With my little ruler, I can measure the distance between this point and this point is 5.9 centimeters. So 59 millimeters divided by 13,000 millimeters, which is 13 meters, is 0.0045. This is my scale, and to convert this number into the format of 1:x, just take the inverse of that number. 1 over 0.0045 is 220. So the scale of this drawing is 1 to 220. That means that every 1 millimeter on this photograph is 0.22 meters or 220 millimeters in real life. Again, it's really not that useful to me as is in this scaling because architect scale rulers come in these common paired scales, which this photograph is not. So you have a couple of options to proceed once you figure out the scale of your aerial photograph. You can basically grab all your important measurements and distances off of this photograph and use math to convert to a common paired scale and redraw your base map at one of those common paired scales, probably 1 to 250. Then your architect scales ruler becomes a really valuable resource as you go forward. Alternatively, you can use software to resize the photo at a common paired scale. And there's several different software programs that can do this. There's lots of CAD programs that will do this, but I've put a link in the supplemental materials to a few inexpensive options. So the point here is that if you're drawing by hand, you really want to use common paired scales. If you're starting with an aerial photograph or a real property report or a survey, you want to convert that drawing to a base map in one of your common paired scales. And before you go to all of the trouble of resizing and converting either the aerial photograph or the real property report, make sure you watch the next video on how to use Google Earth Pro.